Democrats face a huge credibility crisis over Biden's decline. Politico is noting how the Biden question is hanging over the 2028 field of Democrats. They can run, but they can't hide from the tape. Watch.
Well, I'm glad to have a president who can ride a bicycle.
Would the party have been better off if he had just not run for re-election?
Right now, with the benefit of hindsight, I think most people would agree that that's the case.
I've been with the President of the United States many times. He is on the ball. The man knows more than most of us have forgotten.
All this stuff about his health or, commentary that people are making in books, frankly, that's very backward looking.
He is absolutely the same Joe Biden we all have known.
I was busy doing the connection and the voter registration, and so
you
I
didn't
can't
see signs of
speak to
decline?
that directly.
All right, so Jessica, I love that. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
You love it?
I love it because you can't hide from what you say. And there's such a long list of all of these lawmakers that came out to the press saying, nothing to see here, Joe Biden's fine. And they said more than that. They said, he's a fighter. I've never seen him better and more. And then now they're like, yeah, we should have seen. There's receipts for that. And the whole question is, how can they retain credibility with voters knowing that they bald-faced covered it up the whole time?
I have maintained that this is going to be an issue for 2028. Everyone who is going to be on that enormous debate stage, because we're going to have a huge primary, is going to have to talk about past comments or, what they knew and when they knew it. There are folks out there who are refuting aspects of Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson's reporting, like Rufus Gifford, who is a longtime fundraiser for the Democrats, who was on with Mark Halperin. And Mark Halperin found him to be quite convincing in what he was saying. That was from the fundraiser where he said he didn't recognize George Clooney. But it's obviously a real thing. It's a sad thing, I guess, about American politics, that the way our system works is we're just in a binary choice, and it's Democrats versus Republicans. There's no real way for a third party to get there, and people are going to go to the polls in 2026 and then again in 2028, and they're going to make a choice between the Republican candidate and the Democratic candidate. And I think smart Democrats are focusing on the issues that matter to people, which is the economy right now. Already mentioned the tariffs, which are a huge tax on the American public, downgrading our credit. Michigan Consumer Survey sentiment shows 30% drop since November. People are expecting inflation to get over 7% again in the next year. They are pessimistic about our economic prospects. That's what Donald Trump promised that he was going to deliver. And it's a really big deal that the reconciliation bill, the big, beautiful bill, failed out of the budget committee. And it's going to cut $880 billion from Medicaid, which Americans don't want. Those are the kinds of things that Democrats need to be focused on. Answer the questions. I think Pete Buttigieg did a really good job, but it's going to be about the kitchen table issues, as always, when the election comes.
Okay, Greg, Jessica talked about the binary choice.
Yes.
What about the binary choice that those politicians had over the last 4 years, where they didn't have to lie to the press or lie to their constituents and say, yeah, I see it too, because now they're caught in
Perhaps
the lie.
they're non-binary. How dare you? By the way, the whole binary choice thing, I wish it was treated as binary, but you have the media involved. When the media is involved in any election, there is no binary choice. It's either, Hitler or not Hitler. And so that's why the Dems and the media are in the same sinking boat. But I think it's worse for the media, and I'll tell you why. It's the Democrats' job to protect their guy, even if the guy's losing his mind. So that means they're going to lie and they're going to spin, and we get it. It's dirty, it's ugly, but that's what they do because it's their team. The media revealed their corrupt allegiance in all this. Joe Biden isn't their team. They betrayed their profession. There's nothing binary about this. They were on the other side. So in one respect, the media is dead. And I will say this every single day, they're dead. Bury them, cremate them, do whatever you want. Scatter them over a field, but don't cremate them. Dems are in a bind because this is going to be a huge story, and it should remain a huge story. It's the biggest political scandal in history. And each Democrat's going to have to answer for it. No, there's only two answers. One, I did know what was going on, and I lied, and I didn't say anything. Or I didn't know what was going on because I'm stupid. So which one is it going to be? And it's not just one day you got to answer for, like January 6th. It's every day since then. So there needs to be hearings, because if there's no hearings, then the cover-up is ongoing. So the cover-up didn't die when Biden lost, any more than a crime is no longer investigated because they nabbed the suspect on a different charge. The crime was still committed.
Right, and the strays, Jesse, they were pulled back. Gavin Newsom says now, I was called, I always said that I was gaslighting my other Democrat friends. But then the thing is, he went on to gaslight the American people by maintaining publicly that Biden was fine.
So Greg said there's two answers they can give. And it's tough, but this is how you do it. I shouldn't say it, but this is how you do it. You say, listen, I saw Biden slow down. I didn't say anything because my party wasn't saying anything, and I was trying to be a loyal guy. I should have had a little more courage. I learned my lesson. It won't happen again. That's all you have to say. But for some reason, politicians can't admit they're wrong. We have politicians still saying, yeah, the Iraq war, I'd do it again. I mean, Kamala Harris said, yeah, let's do taxpayer sex change surgeries for migrants in prison. She never said, actually, you know what, that was dumb. They just have to admit they're wrong. For instance, sometimes I say, you know what, I interrupted Jessica too much. Sometimes Jessica could say, you know what, I lied about what Trump claimed about all these contracts I got in the Mideast. We could all have a little humility.
You know,
Martha, would that work?
All I would say is that sometimes you have to love the country more than you love your party and winning. And there was no person who stood out in terms of their integrity and their ability to say, I really care about this president, I like him, but I must say what I see. Short of maybe George Clooney at that point.
Dean
but
Phillips.
there is no, you cannot say that winning is important enough to put someone in office or even have them be the nominee who can't function. And I think there needs to be a hearing. And I think the question of why no one said, look, this might have been why there's a 25th Amendment. Because there's no one at home. There's nothing on his schedule. He's not meeting with his cabinet members. Months and months and months go by. The cabinet members are like, nobody calls me back. So that's a real problem in terms of national security and leadership and the presidency.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.